Okay, so I decided to make a tutorial on liquid. My first run over with it was pretty long, so I'm going to split it into liquid and then into digits. And this is going to be kind of bigger liquid concepts that aren't digits that you can apply to gloving. Kind of liquid for gloving, since that's who I'm generally making this for. And if you want a full liquid tutorial, someone just let me know, and I might do it sometime. And first I'm going to go over some things you don't want to do, you want to look out for. Is I see a lot of people go like keep their hands kind of overlapped, like one on top of the other. I mean, it can be done once you learn it. It can be done well, but when you're still like not really good at it, you want to learn how to do it like correctly first. And that's going to be tips of your fingers, going like that. And the general way you learn that is generally if you're right-handed, your right hand's probably going to be more comfortable. It's not for me for some reason. Just do what you want. You're going to go like that. You're going to kind of pull these fingers down with this hand. Both your hands are going to fold. This one's going to unfold, and you're going to push the other fingers up back into that. You get better at that. There you go. It's kind of a circular motion. You just want to kind of split that apart eventually until it gets to here. And waves with an amplitude about this big are probably about the easiest. Once you start getting bigger, it starts getting a bit more out of control, and being smaller, you have to be more precise. And you want to be able to do it as far of a range as you can get, down to just like smallest wave, as long as it looks good. And you want to avoid not having perfect rails for this kind of stuff. If your hands aren't following along like that exact same path, it's not like almost perfect. It's not going to have that like liquid look to it. And keeping your elbows at your sides, you generally want to look out for that, because that kind of keeps you in here in this little boxed in area. Whereas if you let your kind of arms roam free, you have much more to work with, and it just kind of looks more energetic and dancey in general. And let's see, I taught you the beginning hand wave, and when you spread your hands apart, it's easier to learning it this way, doing rails, because you can see that track that they should be going on, as opposed to doing it like this once you get the motion. And you want to move slowly, being able to do this in different ways and different speeds and different lengths of your hands apart. And what I learned in an old liquid video, which helps for splitting your hands apart, take like a sock or a glove or something and just kind of move your hands around like that, so they're always that same distance apart from each other, and it kind of gets built into your muscle memory. And now rails, the idea of rails, your hands are either, like when you're doing liquid, your hands are going to be going in a straight line usually, whether it be that way, whatever, or they're going to be going in a circle. So it's generally either circles, like waves, or lines like coming out of circles, making all kinds of patterns. But they always have to be perfect, pretty much. And this is called orbital liquid, when it's moving in a circle. And orbital liquid is pretty important to learn, I think, as far as getting that kind of flowy look to everything you do, because it kind of encourages more body control and is a bit more like popping, since liquid is a form of popping. And you can just move everything with flow. And let's see, I guess that's my touch and orbital liquid. You can put it wherever you damn well please. And let's see, now I'm gonna show you some figure 8 variations. I see most people doing like that, which doesn't really look very good. I'd say the only thing, maybe every now and then just kind of give that monster look like rah, rah. And let's see, I'd say the basic figure 8 is kind of what they do with glow sticks. It goes like that. And liquid doesn't have to be your hands going like that. The idea can apply even if you're just like holding something, like especially with rails and such. As long as they're going along that same path like that, like it's gonna look pretty good. You'd stick your finger out, stick out different fingers, all that fun stuff. There is the liquid 8, which is most common among glovers as far as I see. You want to take that railing idea that your hands are going to be going along that same path and apply it to like figure 8. And I find it helps to move your elbows up to give yourself that range of motion when you go under. This is another one of those things, like what I generally see people do is kind of going like that. Now, like, there's quite a bit of motion involved, and you can just see from the video what it should look like. And there is what's kind of like that idea but bigger is orbital liquid 8s, or orbital 8s, whatever you want to call it. Just like that, that's pretty, I guess that's pretty self-explanatory if you know any orbital liquid. They're inward figure 8s, which I learned from tectonic. It's like that. That or freehanding, one of the two. But you can go in between for like that one and inward, just to let you know you can do it in like places other than here. They're digit 8s, which is kind of like a bent finger wave. And let's see, there is a pretty big concept that applies to lots of things. I get is called remotes, or also commonly called puppeteering, which builds falls under. So I guess I'll start with builds since I wanted to teach that a little bit. It's kind of a more popping idea. You want to kind of take a structure and give it form, build it, move it around. Imagine what it would act like if it was really in front of you and you were touching it. And that can definitely give a good look to a show, or just any dancing in general, to give you some ideas. And I guess, you know, stacking falls under that. Let's see, there are splits, which kind of follows, that's just its own concept really. Imagine taking your hand like that, this motion where when the wave finishes on this hand, it immediately travels to the other, and split your hands apart. So they're still going through the motion of being connected like that, except they're far apart, and that takes a little bit of getting used to. You have to really kind of get the motion ingrained in your muscle memory, and just imagine like that you have to really be conscious of this hand goes down like that, this hand follows. And this allows for a lot of things. Say with rails, you could go like that, have them opposite of each other, split time rails. Or you could even just offset it a little bit, and it kind of gives more of a texture to the wave, kind of gives it more form. I have trouble doing it that way. Need to work on that more. Let's see. There is ghosting, which has really anything that like hides motions and gives kind of a magic look to what you do, but it's used kind of more in digits. Might touch over it briefly in my digits tutorial in case anyone misses it. And I guess other remotes. You know, just that basic concept and idea. And the biggest idea in all of this as far as liquid goes, and getting that look of flow with everything in your liquid and in your digits, in your tutting, even if you do that flow, kind of flowy tutting and move around, is speed control. Just that everything, it goes the same amount of distance with each beat, that it's constantly going, everything is going the same speed. And it just gets that really flowy look to it no matter what you're doing. And that also applies a lot with splits. That's why splits still have that really flowy look to them, even though your hands aren't going along the same path, as they're still going that same speed. And another idea with speed control is, say, with more liquid like this, is that what you're doing kind of has a weight to it. Like when you go up one way, like up a wave, it's a little bit slower, and when you go down, it kind of goes down like it's a roller coaster. That's not necessarily the right way to do it, it's just a different way to give things a different look. And learning both that and a constant speed, you can give a lot of different looks to what you're doing for what you have. You essentially kind of double the amount of looks you can have. And I think that about covers it. If there's anything else any of you want me to go over, just let me know. Goodbye.